The groundhogs have taken over our farm, digging holes under the barns and caving in the floors, not to mention the thousands of dollars of crops they eat from our farm each year. And now it's time for them to pay with their lives. We are beginning this battle over at my house. Now this is away from the farm, but I got my own problems with groundhogs here. These things have been making their home under my barn. You can see there's a hole going up under it right there. And just right down there, there's also another hole. And this is hardly any damage compared to what you'll see later in the video. Holes all throughout our machinery barn and countless acres of crops eaten. We are going to be wiping out as many groundhogs as possible in this video. And this is how we're going to start. With some foothold traps. So foothold trap is pretty simple to set. Set it down in the hole where you want it to be, stretch your chain out as far as it'll go, then that's where you want to stake it off so the groundhog can't pull the trap back down the hole. I'm going to dig a little spot out for the trap to go. That's where I'm going to set the trap. I'm going to pack it down with dirt. Then I'm going to put some pretty good sized rocks around it to help guide the groundhog towards the trap. Then I'm just going to cover the trap in grass, and that's all we're going to do. So I'm going to set one right down there in the other hole, and then I'm going to move over to the chicken coops where they were causing damage in the last video. And while we wait on the traps to make a catch, I got my 22 long rifle right here. Right over in those trees, there's a bunch of groundhog holes. We're going to be trying to take some out at the source of the problem, because the groundhogs are probably coming from the woods. So I'm going to wait here till one comes out, and we're going to try to snipe them in the head. I'll put you guys on the scope camera right now. All right, here we go. We got one coming out. I need him to turn his head sideways so I can get a good headshot. No, don't come. Okay, I could shoot him right between the eyes. Oh, he's just laying down staring at me right now. Hey, hey. Got him. Oh yeah, he's not going anywhere. This groundhog's got holes everywhere up here. Got one back there, one right there. That's where I shot him at. Another one right there, and then a fourth one just right there. So there's the groundhog down there. Man, that's a pretty fat one. Jeez. All right, guys, first check over at the barn, and we got one. He's right down here. This is exactly what I did not want to have happen. Groundhog number one is down. I checked the traps again the next night, and this time we caught a groundhog over at the chicken coop. The next day, all the traps were empty, so I was pretty confident there was only 2 groundhogs living here, so I decided to cover up all the holes and move over to the farm. So here's the plan. We're going to take care of the groundhogs in the barns, then move over to the groundhogs living in the fields. So I just got this box in the mail. This is going to help us get a ton of groundhogs. It's 3 dozen conibears. A conibear is a lot like a mousetrap, but for larger animals. When the animal sticks its head in the trap will snap on their neck and dispatch them quickly and humanely. This is the first barn we're going to be setting traps at. The groundhogs are just digging all kinds of holes up in this old straw. And here's where they're causing damage. They're about to chew through these 2x6s. There's a couple more holes right there. They're even digging under the barn right there. I'm gonna show you guys real quick how I set one of these things. Already got it staked off up there on this piece of rebar. Already squeezed the springs together and set the trap. Stick it right down there. And you want the trap to be far enough away from the edge of the hole so when the jaws close, it's gonna have enough room to go down. You gotta make sure it doesn't hit the edge of the hole. Go ahead and take our safeties off. Then you wanna get a big rock or a stick or something. Just put that right there. Help hold the trap in place. Keep it nice and sturdy. That's not going anywhere. Get some of this. I'm just gonna put that right there, kind of make it like a tunnel. You just put a little bit on top. Oh yeah, that looks good. Nice little tunnel for the groundhog to go through. Perfect set. We're at the next barn. You can see where the groundhogs are at. These things have dug into the barn. There's a hole right there. There's a hole right over there too. And they have cracked the concrete. Very important that we keep this barn especially well kept. This is where we store stuff and we gotta keep it organized. So can't have groundhogs be coming in here and wrecking everything. And after I went ahead and got the 2 traps set in this barn, I went over to another barn and I kept setting more traps. And then I just moved over to another barn and set some more traps, and I just kept setting traps till all the traps were gone. All right guys, it's the next morning. I kind of lied about setting all the traps. We still have like almost half of them left. I did set over half of them yesterday, but I just ran out of spots to set them. There is one barn left though, and it's the barn with the most damage. It's where we store the combine, and hole right there, hole, there's one, there's another, there's another, right there, and there's a couple over here too. And the outside of the barn's also really bad too. There's 3 holes just right here. Combining the holes that are inside the barn and outside, there's exactly 20 holes. That's just crazy for, wait, what the heck is that? Why is there a ground blind right there? Oh my gosh, there's a gun in there. What in the world? This isn't even mine. What? It is. I'm just kidding. This is my gun, and we are about to hunt some of these groundhogs. So I'm set up about 30 yards away from the corner of the barn. That's where most of the holes are at. There is some houses right over there. So I've opted to go for the 22 cal silenced air rifle. Plenty good enough for these groundhogs. I'm gonna sit here for like all day. We'll see how many groundhogs we can get, and then we'll go check all the traps. No, he just went under the barn. All right, he's coming back out. He's back out. Dropped him. All right, got him. That is what you call instant lights out. This thing didn't even move an inch. Pretty sure he's dead. Yeah, looks like a big groundhog too. Oh yeah, jeez. That's a monster. That's bigger than the first one I got. Got that thing right in the eyeball, man. This is a giant male groundhog. This is probably one of the biggest ones I've ever shot. I was too lazy to wait for more groundhogs, so I decided to set the rest of the traps I had left in the barn. And then it was time to check the rest of the traps I set yesterday. I was surprised to see most of the traps were empty. Even a couple of them were set off. But after checking a bunch of empty traps, we finally made a catch. Hey, there we go. Got one. Oh yeah. Perfect catch right on the head. I just got done checking the traps on day 2 and we didn't even have a single groundhog. But when I got back home, guess what I saw out in the yard? There was a groundhog out there. I snuck over in the barn, took a shot, and there he is sitting out there. Pretty tiny one. This thing's got wounds all over it. There's a giant tick right there. These are all from ticks. That's disgusting. Let's go over in the chicken coop, see if he redug the holes. You have got to be kidding me. This thing dug a whole new hole right under there. The old one is right there somewhere. I'm just gonna cover this back up because we already got him. Just got done checking the traps on day 3. And all we got was one groundhog in the same hole as the other one. This one's a lot bigger though, just got caught too. Also has no tail, it's kind of weird. We are now gonna be targeting the groundhogs in the fields. This area is like perfect groundhog habitat. There's a big bank right here where all the groundhog holes are at. On one side, they got an all-you-can-eat buffet, and on the other side, they got all the water they can drink. So there is a ton of holes. I went up there and marked all the holes already, and let me tell you, we are probably going to run out of traps. Like there's that many, it's crazy. I did go ahead and pull all the conibears from the barn so we can have enough traps for over here. I was really expecting to catch more groundhogs at the barns, but I guess since all the holes are under the barns, they aren't really exposed to the elements. So those holes could have been sitting there for a whole year and not even have a single groundhog go through them, but they still look like they're pretty fresh. But the holes up here, every single one of them is being used for sure. We might catch like 10 of them tomorrow. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to work setting all these traps. We're gonna do a time lapse right now. Well guys, got them all set. Had 3 traps left over, so it took 33 traps to set all these holes. We better have a ton of groundhogs tomorrow. Well guys, it's the next day. First trap, we got a groundhog. There's just a hole out here in the actual field, but this one definitely got caught yesterday, last night. All right, let's go up on the bank and check the others. I just checked 6 traps over there, we had nothing. Here's another trap, and we got another groundhog. Another pretty tiny one, definitely a yearling. There's another trap over here. And it has a raccoon in it. I guess groundhogs aren't the only thing living in here. Accidental raccoon catch, but I'll take it. Right over there's a sweet corn field and the raccoons will be getting in there soon. So good to take some out, I guess. I just came this way about 30 feet. Got another raccoon right there. And then right over here, there's another groundhog. There's a big one right there. That's a pretty big groundhog. Not even halfway done checking these. And we already got, what is that? We got like 5 catches already. Oh my goodness, guys, this is crazy. Very next trap. Pull the stake out. Another groundhog. Next trap again. Oh my gosh, another groundhog. That's crazy. There's another one. There's another trap right up here. Let's go check it. All right, do we have one up here? Nope, that one's actually empty. All right, I've actually gotten about at least half a dozen traps without making a catch. But we finally got another one down here. This one was like the trap I was least expecting to get one. Their hole is in this pipe, which leads up to the pond. And it was really hard to get a trap in here. So I'm surprised I was able to get one. Another pretty tiny one though. Getting really good catches on the head. One of the springs actually didn't go off on this one. Only got this one with 1 spring. Good thing it was a tiny groundhog. Another flag, which means another trap. Which means another groundhog. Something not very good just happened. I just checked this trap and the trap is gone. Like what happened? I've been putting the stakes through all the springs. Like, there must have been too much grass and I didn't stake it through the spring. I don't see anything down there either. So somewhere there's probably a groundhog with a trap on its head. It probably just went down the hole and died. But then right over here, here's another trap right there that's set off. Nothing in it though. Just got done checking the traps. That is what we ended up with. Got 7 groundhogs and 2 raccoons for a total of 9 catches. I think my record for most groundhogs in the day was 12. So we didn't quite get there, but that's one of my best days for sure. Meanwhile, back at my house, the groundhogs have returned. So I set a trap and got one. Later, I looked out my window and saw another groundhog. So I ended up shooting that one. The next day I went back to check the traps and caught only 1 groundhog, plus another 1, 2, 3 raccoons. So I'd say we got all the groundhogs out of that spot. So now we're going to be moving to a new field. There's so many groundhogs at this spot. When I was here just scouting the spot out, one just came walking up right to me. The groundhogs out there are going to be a little bit difficult to trap. I'll explain why later, but right now I got my 30 cal air rifle right here on my little shooting platform I made last year, and we are going to be sitting up here trying to snipe them when they come out. And here we go. We got one out already. 150 yards. Ah. No way. I just smoked that thing at 140 yards. Okay, maybe not. He might have just got away. All right, I believe we got him. This is where the groundhog was when I shot him. He ran over here back to his hole. When I walked up here, he was sitting right on the edge of his hole. He was still alive. He started running back into his hole. Shot him twice. I can see his tail down there. I think he's dead. Yep, he's dead. Check it out. 140-yard groundhog with a pellet gun. So first shot, looks like I got him high right there. Exited right there. I believe that is now my new longest recovered kill with a pellet gun. I don't know if you want to count that though, because I had to go up and put follow-up shots in him, but that is still pretty cool. All right, number 2 just poked his head up. 82 yards. Pretty far shot still, but not too bad. See if we can put a headshot on this guy. Smoked him. That looked like a really good shot, but it sounded like it didn't hit him in the head, because it just like, usually when you hit a groundhog in the head with a pellet gun, it's just like a really loud smack, but that shot just sounded like it went right through him. Kind of weird. I don't know if I got him good or not. After watching this shot back in slow motion, what was a left to right wind on a 140-yard shot switched to a right to left wind on this shot, and the shot didn't end up being very good. It was probably a good enough shot to still kill the groundhog, but he was able to make it back to his hole. I've been watching the beans out there, and the wind has just not been consistent today. I'm back here in the trees, so I can't feel it. I just have to go off of what I see out there in the beans. The wind is constantly changing, so I think I better just stick with body shots. I'm probably not going to recover groundhogs if I do that. They'll probably make it back to their hole, but at least I know I won't be wounding any. All right, had another one come out. This one's at 110 yards. It's like no wind. Did I just kill him? I think I got him. He's right there somewhere. I can see the beans moving. I'm not 100% sure, but I think I just smoked that groundhog at 110 yards. Yep, I did. He's sitting right there. No way. Oh my goodness. He still has beans in his mouth. That's crazy. Look at that. He was just eating those beans. Didn't even swallow them before I shot him. I think he was facing this way. I got him right in the shoulder and he just dropped. Man, that 30 cal's got some power to do that. Sheesh. I thought I headshot him just by the way he didn't go anywhere. Didn't get an exit though. I can actually feel the pellet right beneath the skin. So the reason I was saying it was going to be pretty difficult to set traps this spot is because a lot of the holes are just way back there in the weeds and this really thick stuff. And I was thinking like, I'm not going to be able to get back there with my Crocs on. But then I had this idea, what if I just wear some mud boots? So that's what I did. I already walked all the way back there, counted 14 holes. So there's a lot less holes than the other spot, but there's probably just as many groundhogs here. So I'm going to get walking along here, setting a bunch of traps, and tomorrow we are going to check them for the final day of this groundhog war. Here we go, the last trap check. This war has gone on for many days and I'm so ready for it to be over. Let's go check these traps, see how many groundhogs we got. The first trap, one big groundhog. No groundhog in that trap, but just right over here, is number 2. Got 5 traps right here. I think we're about guaranteed to have one. And here's number 3. And walking up on the last trap. And there's our last groundhog. It is over. The battle has just ended. I can finally start going along here and setting off all these traps. Well, that's it, guys. Over 20 groundhogs on the farm have been eliminated. But I don't think our work here is done.